Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will talk live with the chair of the New York State Conservative Party, Jerry Kassar, as their statewide convention is next weekend in Albany. And the Conservative Party has recently made a move that could elect Republican Bruce Blakeman, governor of New York. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us live. We have a lot to talk about. 800-848-9222 on the Friday edition. The demonizing of ICE agents is going to get one of these hero officers killed. It has to stop. For example, the Attorney General in Arizona, reckless, citing self-defense laws in Arizona, claiming that residents there, stand your ground laws, can use deadly force on agents if they believe that their life is in danger, on hooded agents. Why in the world would a law enforcement officer, an attorney general, why would she say something like that? But she has. And crazy Don Lemon basically telling federal prosecutors, come get me. Something is rotten in this process as to why a federal judge did not sign off on Don Lemon's arrest. Wait till you hear his latest reckless comments. But the big story, here locally in the tri-state region, throughout much of the country, happens to be snow. And this is New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
The extreme cold can be deadly, absolutely deadly. So please, there's been a lot of reports this year about cold weather, storms coming. This is one you need to take very seriously.
And so we're going to get to something that has my blood boiling in just a second. And ICE arrest in Minnesota involving a father and a 5-year-old boy. And they're trying to make ICE out to be the worst people alive. We're going to get to that in just 1 second. But crazy Don Lemon, you would think he would put his head in the ground and go lick his wounds somewhere and try and regroup. Oh no. After the judge didn't sign off on him being arrested, Don Lemon takes to social media, taking a match and throwing it on the gasoline.
So, look, I stand proud and I stand tall. This is not a victory lap for me because it's not over. They're going to try again and they're going to try again. And guess what? Here I am. Keep trying. That's not going to stop me from being a journalist. You're not going to diminish my voice. Go ahead. Make me into the new Jimmy Kimmel if you want. Just do it. Because I'm not going anywhere and I'm going to believe the same things whether you want to, whatever. Now, let me just tell you something else before I get to my guests. None of this is about justice. This is about power and it's about people who are incompetent.
How would you know, Don Lemon? You surely know about being incompetent. You were never qualified to be a journalist or qualified to host a show on CNN. How dare you talk about being competent? It's amazing. But, last night I sat watching CNN for a while. And to watch the mainstream media, how they're covering this case in Minnesota, you would think that these ICE officers don't have children of their own, that they simply just don't care. The demonizing of ICE. So Homeland Security officials are hitting back today at viral claims that a 5-year-old boy was used as bait to arrest his father and then detained by ICE in Minnesota earlier this week. So here's what really happened. Here's what really happened in this situation. And then I want you to listen to this piece from ABC World News Tonight. They didn't have a single word Thursday on the arrest of the 3 people in connection to the anti-ICE mob storming the church, but they had a full story on this. And so what really happened in this situation, the father bolts from the car, pulls up in front of where they live, and bolts from the car when he sees ICE. Who leaves their 5-year-old child on location in the cold weather in Minnesota? Oh, no, but the media didn't focus on any of that. The father apparently tells the mother on the other side of the door, don't open the door. He doesn't trust ICE. He doesn't want her to be arrested and deported. Again, who leaves their 5-year-old child in a situation like that? The media is not focusing on any of that. All they're saying is father and 5-year-old child are arrested by ICE. This from ABC World News.
In the meantime, to the other news tonight, the growing outrage in Minneapolis, the images of a 5-year-old boy returning home from preschool, detained by ICE. Agents taking the boy and his father into custody. Vice President J.D. Vance in Minneapolis today defending ICE agents, claiming they were protecting the child, saying, what are they supposed to do? Matt Rivers in Minneapolis again tonight.
Tonight, the haunting images sparking a firestorm. A preschool boy standing in the Minnesota cold, swept up in the ICE crackdown. School officials say 5-year-old Liam, wearing his blue hat and backpack, and his father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, had just pulled into their suburban Minneapolis driveway Tuesday when agents took that father into custody. The school then saying an agent essentially used the 5-year-old as bait, directing him to see if anyone else was home before taking the boy away. The district saying Liam is among 4 students recently detained.
The sense of safety in our community and around our schools is shaken, and our hearts are shattered. And honestly, at the end of the day, children should be in school with their classmates.
But DHS telling a different story, saying ICE did not target a child, claiming Liam's father is an undocumented immigrant and fled on foot, abandoning his son in the driveway. Tonight, during a visit here in Minneapolis, Vice President J.D. Vance saying the agents were protecting the child.
What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
But the district says multiple people on scene did offer to take the child, but were refused. Vance broadly praising the work of federal agents, saying the vast majority are doing excellent work. But for the first time tonight, the administration telling me they are willing to discipline ICE officers, quote, when justified.
If somebody did something wrong, yes, they're going to face disciplinary action, but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion.
Vance saying he's trying to ease soaring tensions amid furious protests.
I'm in the gas! Get back! Gas!
Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bavino tossing a smoke grenade into an unruly crowd. Agents pinning this person to the ground, this stunning image of the pepper spray at close range.
So that's the version from the mainstream media. The Trump administration fighting back.
And this is a horrific smear that we're seeing the mainstream media and politicians on the left, including Kamala Harris, take and run with. The facts are actually that this little boy was abandoned by his own father. His own father was being approached by ICE agents when he ran and abandoned the child. Our law enforcement in these frigid temperatures stayed with the child, tried to bring him into custody with the mother, who actually would not take the child into custody, which is so sad, so horrific. Our law enforcement officers actually were taking care of the child, brought him to McDonald's, were playing his favorite music to really calm him down. This is Asmark. There's major riots forming around our law enforcement officers. That is horrendous that the child is having to face this, but our law enforcement officers were taking care of him, and he's now reunited with his father in a federal processing facility.
So the real story is the father didn't give a damn about his own child and bolted. But the media is not telling you that story. ICE is just so horrendous. The mom cared so much about her 5-year-old child, she wouldn't open the door. Oh, what a wonderful mom. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Tell the full story. Tell the truth about what's going on. 800-848-9222. We see all your calls. We're about to begin with them. The arrest at that, from that church, when those monsters went inside that church. Nobody knew the law, or they didn't care about the law, and they made fools of themselves, and now they've been arrested. Megyn Kelly, I just love her. She's referring to one of the ringleaders, Nakima, and Megyn Kelly teeing off on her.
It's all irrelevant. All of that is totally irrelevant. Nakima, you're an idiot. No one gives whether you did sit there for the first couple of minutes and then there's no doubt you did what you said you were going to do, which was disrupt the unsuspecting parishioners who are trying to attend Sunday service. No one cares. The law doesn't care if you sat there for a few minutes before you launched your disruption. Okay? So I don't know who's advising you at your little BLM organization, where it turns out you take more money than you give in your charitable work, and we'll get to that. But you, to me, seem like a fraudster, madam. You seem to me like a criminal even before you went into that church. And had I been interviewing you, I would have raised it. Why do you take more out of your charity than you give to the needy, ma'am, year after year after year? Is that very Christian? Is that something God would approve of? Because you seem really connected with God, or at least your buddy Don Lemon purports to be in his questioning, and you standing up trying to cross-examine the pastor like you know better. I mean, I don't think you fully disclosed to everybody involved in this what your true character is, madam. But don't worry, it's going to come up at your trial.
Oh, the feds are going to have fun with whatever's in her background. To your telephone calls, 800-848-9222, line 5, Dennis, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Dennis?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dominic. At what point does this crap end? The Democrats let 300,000 kids come into this country. We don't know where 95% of them are. And now we're upset because a 5-year-old got arrested, which she didn't. At what point do the scales start to balance in the media and we get back to being a balanced country with not 90% of the media on one side and 10% on the other? It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and you're correct. But those 3,000 kids that were and are missing, that doesn't matter, doesn't count, Dennis, because it happened under Biden. And when it happens under Biden, we look the other way. You know the rules of the game. If it happened under Trump, can you imagine what the headlines would say, Dennis?
Absolutely. It's not a fair game. As I said, at some point, we have to come back to being balanced, or it's over for this country.
Right. The way they're rewriting that story in Minnesota. Oh, these ICE agents, it's freezing outside, and this poor 5-year-old kid, daddy abandoned him and ran off, and mommy wouldn't open the door. So I guess they really, 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 really love little Johnny. I don't think so. 800-848-9222.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.